and welcome battery enthusiasts to the Battery Podcast from Siemens Digital Industries, where we talk about challenges, technologies, and solutions for the battery industry. I'm Nick Finberg, your host for the Battery Podcast, and in our first episode, we let you know where you would find us in the coming months, and one of those events was Battery Show Europe. For those that couldn't make it, we were able to sit down with a handful of experts to get their thoughts on the industry's progress from the show floor with our series host, Marc Deyda. So whether you're an industry insider or just curious about the latest battery innovations, this podcast is your gateway to all things battery related. So stay charged and tune in to hear these experts share their thoughts on the industry's progress, challenges, and cutting-edge technology shaping the battery world.
Welcome back, listeners. This is Marc Deyda reporting live from the Battery Show in Stuttgart. Today I had an incredible opportunity to participate in an engaging panel discussion with three esteemed guests. And right after the panel, I sat down for an exclusive, extended chat with these brightest minds in the industry. Today we have Dr. Markus Gräf, CEO of Cellforce Group, Dr. Schmüser, CEO, Division Clean Technology System of Dürr Systems, and Mr. Dr. Christian Offermanns, Chair of Production Engineering of E-Mobility Components at the RWTH Aachen University. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you all here today. Thank you for joining us. Now let's dive right in. My first question goes directly to Dr. Christian Offermanns. When it comes to planning and setting up new factories, there are crucial factors to consider in order to maximize energy efficiency. Dr. Offermann, could you share with our audience what these factors are? How many manufacturers ensure that their production sites are not only cutting edge in technology, but also environmentally sustainable?
Very happy to be here today. I think when you're planning a production site, you have to have in mind what are the costs in the end, so OPEX as well as CAPEX. And to plan on the long run, I believe that especially OPEX are very, very important. And the main factor in my mind is to reduce energy that you need to produce the batteries afterwards. And there are different factors that you have to have in mind there. I think the main reasons for energy consumption are especially electrode production. We see that the drying process does cost a lot of energy. We see that the clean and dry room is an important production step where a lot of energy is consumed, as well as formation. And if you're planning the whole production line, you have to have in mind that those factors, the energy consumption especially, have to be considered and reduced as much as possible.
Perfect. Thank you for those valuable insights, Christian. Now let's talk about the critical aspect of collaboration. How can we foster better cooperation between research institutions, manufacturing facilities, and suppliers to drive innovation forward in the battery industry?
Great question. I think the innovation chain is one of the major topics that we have to address in Europe in the future, since if you're not addressing that topic, you can't differentiate yourself from other suppliers. And in that case, you have to do fundamental research by governmental help. You have to do the scalability afterwards. You have to transform that knowledge, that innovation to an industry. And for that case, there are different game changers in my mind. First, I think you have to use pilot lines. You have to use lines that can scale up, like UK Battery Industrialization Center or the Fraunhofer Research Factory, where you can improve the innovation to a scaled production line, and then you have to transform that to the industry. And in that case, I think there has to be a close cooperation between research, universities, and the industry, and you have to do that by bilateral projects. You have to do research projects together, and there are different clusters that are addressing exactly that topic. Cluster Goes Industries, for example, one example for that. So I believe that the cooperation has to be improved in the future, but still there are a lot of things that are happening in that field.
Thank you, Christian. Joining us today is Dr. Markus Gräf, CEO of Cellforce Group. Dr. Gräf, we are thrilled to have you on our program. Recently, Siemens and Cellforce confirmed their collaboration. What are your views on this partnership and the significant impact it will make on the industry?
I think this is now a perfect match, as we started with Siemens for, I would say, more than 1 year. And we found out that Siemens has so many software components which we can use and we are already using. We have installed the product lifecycle management via TeamViewer, and now we decided to go with the Op Center. So the golden triangle is for us the most important thing to be ready for the future. The golden triangle with SAP, Siemens, Teamcenter and the Op Center. And all this stuff behind with the facility management we also gave to Siemens, we are on the way to make really a digital transformation 4.0 reality.
So glad to hear that. This sounds like an existing and transformative partnership. Shifting the gears, let's talk about early fault detection in the production process. Dr. Gräf, how do you ensure early fault detection? And what measures does Cellforce Group take to maintain top-notch production quality?
That's for us a main topic, as I described on the panel discussion. For the cell industry, it's always problematic. You are producing with the coating a foil, and 1.5 weeks later you know if it's good or bad. So fault detection, especially in the area of coating, is crucial for us, as we spend a lot of money in the bin in the worst case. So the collaboration we are doing here with Dürr and Siemens, how to get really the coating process more stable and more predictable with less waste. That is the main focus now.
That's truly impressive, Dr. Gräf. Collaboration and embracing innovative technology are vital to shaping the future of the battery industry. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this existing venture. Speaking of innovation, let's turn our attention to Dr. Schmüser, CEO, Division Clean Technology Systems of Dürr Systems. Dr. Schmüser, we'd love to hear your insights on the major innovations that will impact the battery industry and what Dürr is doing in that regard.
Yeah, innovation plays a very important role for us, because it's not enough just to catch up to existing competitors, but really to innovate in terms of finding the right customer benefits and USPs for the industry. Let me give you some examples. We work in the field of electrode production. We work on laser drying, for example, to develop and launch a very innovative process to dry the web line and the electrode with lasers. That has the potential to shorten the dryer zones, to reduce the amount of energy consumption, and to increase also web speed, means the output of the entire system. So laser drying is one of the aspects that plays a very important role to generate and come to very innovative processes to save money, to increase the quality, to save energy. Another aspect of innovation is, for example, the field of closed loop controls. So we come up with camera systems and a so-called coating fingerprint to check the coating quality at any point of the web line. Means we can detect failures. We generate all the data based on camera system and sensors, put an artificial intelligence system on top of it in order to detect and identify the right failure, to work with the right, or you could also say smart data, in order to come to closed loop controls to optimize the entire processes. Because we work with very valuable raw materials in this case here. And so these are things that have the potential to really innovate and save a lot of money for our customers and improve the quality. Then, on top of all the machines, we innovate in the field of digitalization. So think about the MES systems or MOM systems now, all the software that uses all the data that comes out of all the different machines in the process to find the right problems, to detect the right failures, and to reduce scrap rates, for example, because scrap rate is a very sensitive thing in the field of battery production. Customers talk about a 30% scrap rate. So these are things innovation really pays off.
Really impressive, Dr. Schmüser. Sustainability is a pressing concern in the battery industry. How does Dürr Systems address sustainability in battery production?
Yeah, the aspect of sustainability is extremely important because raw materials are extremely expensive. So just imagine 70 to 80% of the battery cost are determined by raw materials. So to save raw materials, to save energy is extremely important, not only in terms of cost, but also in terms of all the environmental issues around the batteries. So energy reduction and also efficient drying technologies, as said before, when it comes to laser drying, play a very important role to produce more with less energy. So that is a way in a sustainable battery production future. And another aspect are, for example, the solvents. Think about wet coating. We have a lot of solvents in the slurry, so we have to get rid of them due to a lot of emission regulation standards we find here in Europe. And it's good we find the emission regulation standards here in Europe because at the end of the day, it's our environment, the air quality, etc. So we deliver systems, solvent recovery systems, to reduce the amount of solvents in the air or in the emission stream to a level close to zero, down to zero. So these are things that play a very important aspect in terms of sustainable processes.
Thank you, Dr. Schmüser. Sustainability is indeed the driving force behind the future of battery production. And with this, it's a wrap. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Offermanns, Dr. Gräf, and Dr. Schmüser for their valuable insights from the battery industry. Until next time, this is Marc signing off.
And thank you to the audience. We hope these discussions are valuable to you as we continue this style of recording when our experts meet with industry leaders and customers from around the world. Be sure to check out our other episodes, and we look forward to having you back again soon to talk about everything battery. This podcast contains the personal views and opinions of the speakers. It is important to note that these opinions are solely those of the speakers and do not reflect the views or positions of Siemens, its management, its employees, or any entities the speakers may be affiliated with. Siemens as a company does not endorse any of these statements made in the podcast. Siemens bears no responsibility for ensuring the content's accuracy or verifying the statements made in this podcast.